Greetings, current viewer. Today I'm gonna be explaining the whole plot of all three books in my series. Okay, and just know the book series. It's called Aspect of the Blooded, and some animations here on my channel. Well, the whole story takes 10 years back before now, and during this time, there's some conflict between two races of man or humans. I believe in both races, whatever. There's humans, right? For landers to be more contacted here and all, whatever. And there's also Aquans, which are water-breathing humans. They really hate these guys because they keep on dominating everything and all the land. They also want land too. That's why they breathe water instead and live in water. And Desler Brimo, you already know what happens if you've read the book. They're over here, right? Desler Brimo, they're over here. Dark Predator, whatever. And the Aquans, they attack, you already know what happens, right? But, if you've seen the series, you know that they reach to this point over here, okay? Where they win against Scar, they defeat him, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of things happen, okay? But what happens more is gonna be explained right now. Now they awaken in this prison next chapter, right? And when they awaken in this prison, um they're like, oh no, we need to escape, so they escape, right? Scar appears and they fight him because back then he was very evil. No, he was in Aqua Sinus guy, the bad guy of everything. They all fight, right? He wins, the king comes back, and he rewards them, because the city was captured. The city used to be for humans, but now the Alquans invaded it and put almost everyone in prisons. He saves everyone in there. The girl that rewards them. Stuff happens. Chapter 5, they're all over here, right? Because, things happen. And they meet Tenoro, which is like a Tigerian. He's from other world, other places. And, he's kind of like half tiger, half human. He meets them, he saves them from some creatures, he asks for help. They end up helping them, they go back, some of his crew, because they're jailed by by a renegade. Right? He helps them, they go on with their day, Tyrell goes back to his land, and then they're over here, right? They go to Damager and they meet some dude named Baron who can help them, right? And it's because they're looking for Guzro, and Guzro happens to be in here but in jail because he is infected with disease, and he's a patient zero because he's infected with disease that the Aquans made to destroy them, right? And later on, let's see, okay, it's very too fucking, yeah, sorry for the language, let's see, there are mountains, right? And they say they happen to see that the king there is actually corrupted because when Desar and the rest are gonna investigate, see what's happening, they hear this research lab, but the king wants to stop them because he's actually secretly Auckland the whole time, but they don't know. So he reveals his identity. The whole place was corrupted the whole time. And then, they fight him, they win. The people there want to follow Deslar because they believe in the new king, right? So with that opportunity, he makes them lead over here, gives a speech and all that stuff. They go to this research lab that's way much far in the mountains, right? And it's Aquan, right? Aquan are using it so they can infiltrate the whole place, right? They invade it, and Aquasinov, right? He appears the big bad guy, and he appears in this new um gigantic mecha armor. Okay, like this is a whole map, right? This is the size of his armor. Okay, it's that big, like big as a mountain. Okay, he appears, he crushes Deslar, he barely survives Deslar, and then another day, well, not it's still today, right? But at night, it happens. Something happens. A dark day where it rains crags, right? It's a very mysterious day, but it starts raining spikes, basically, right? And everyone runs, right? Like the whole place, the whole like near kingdom runs back to the kingdom, right? And then there's this shelter, right? They all run there. Almost everyone gets there, but Brian will trips, right? Desler saves her, carries her, and then throws her back in the shelter. A spike lands in the little shelter thing that opens it, and forces it to close, and Desler is forced to die out there. But luckily, next day they check on him, and he's still alive with his synergy, because his shield was saving him the whole time. And then chapter 8 begins in the whole story. They're over here, right? Because they use a teleporter because the new king there decides to get him a teleporter, right? They all teleport here, right? Like it's a whole portal. They appear out of nowhere. There's no going back. They get kidnapped by his two people, like two cultists, and they appear in this arena place, right? Arena, okay. And someone that's seen on top, right? His name is Vistral. He's the king of the place, and he's actually a half god. He can do whatever he wants because he's half immortal and stuff. And then Deslar, Deslar is in the other side of the arena. Bryoma, Baron, and who's the other guy again? Yeah, that's all. Actually, Adam didn't appear because he's actually mentioned in the story, but he kind of stops. He gets lost, and then they're fighting. Right, they're all battling with swords, but then at one point, Desert stops because he realizes that he's not himself. Right, he awakens from his from the hypnotizing that Mr. put him, and a random sword appears in his hand. Right, a special sword that can destroy Vistral. So they all attack Vistral. He dies, and then they all save the day. Next chapter 8. They're all chapter 9. Yeah, chapter 9. They're all over at Verosted, right? They meet. Braun meets his brother once more, Veron, and then they all chat, right? But then Vistral comes again because he was revived, right, by the other people. Well, I can't say it's secret, top secret. And then he's all like, "Oh, I'm gonna destroy you guys once and for all." But then Braun, okay, Deslar, Bryoma, Baron, and Veron decide to finally stop and put an end to him once and for all by mortalizing him, right? Because while he's waiting, he's on top of this huge stanza. He has a little chair there, right? A little box in there. You go in this box, and there's like this whole other arena place, right? In the center, there's this little orb, right? And it's like if you destroy it, you destroy Vistral too, right? They decide to destroy it, but Baron dies while in the fight. The all three are mourning over him. They're Deslar, Bryoma, and Veron, and then they all like saying, "Okay, time to continue on," right? And they go through a portal, right, that Veron built overnight while they were all sleeping, right? Built a portal. They decided to go all the way over here, right? Over here. And they're like, "Oh, this new place." And I know shit, Veron says, But then the king warns them. Desert trains a little, They're all training and stuff. And when they're all training, the huge fleet of Aqua just heard to come this way, right? So Desert, Brian, and Veron decide to go all the way over here to this little place right here because they know the attack's coming from this place, right? And wait, okay, when they're attacking, Scar actually right here, right? They're battling this whole place, right? And there's like this huge gigantic castle, abandoned one behind the right. Natives follow the desert and rest because they want to help too, right? Natives, the whole place, right? So they're all fighting, right? Gigantic battle, and then they start losing, right? Really badly. All the guys are being beat up, and then Scar's winning over Desert because back then it's evil. But then Tenoro comes to save the day. Comes in this giant ship of his, right? This like ship, yeah. And he's all like, "Oh, I'm gonna save the day." He uses the cannons. He blows up all the people there, and he hits one in the Scar. Scar gets blown off away, but he's still alive. Deslar kicks him and then runs away quickly. Deslar, Bramble, and then what's his name again? Veron and Tenor all appear in a boat, and then they all run away and they go. They finally sail off to the next journey in their adventure. So this is basically the whole plot of the first book. I'm gonna explain the whole basic summary. He comes attacking Aquasinov, right? And decide that the only way to save the day is complete the journey. And they're all venturing, right? He needs to go all the way to this other world called Frasi, right? It's kind of like this one, but a different world, right? And he needs to warn some guy known as the Overlord, the Land Overlord, right? And he can defeat him, right? In a prophecy, that's what it says, because those are part of that prophecy, because those are so known as the Might Blood, right? He can synergize with weapons. He can make weapons out of his hands, right? And basically, he saves the day, right? He needs to go all the way over here, right? But then it's more deep, and the story goes on, and then it returns here. And here's also a side fact. Okay, so the Mighty Five, right? This is where Tenoro joins. He joins right here, where he officially joins. Bramble and Desert were always in the team, and Scar and Riga, they'll join later. You'll see. And yeah, that's basically the whole story in 10 minutes, maybe. I wanted to thank everyone for watching, so you can enjoy the lore, and I guess I will be seeing you later, tomorrow probably, I do not know, and bye.